Hi friends, my name is Whitney. I'm an internal medicine resident in San Jose, California. On this channel, we'll be talking about medicine and productivity, work-life balance, personal development. If any of these topics interest you, please consider subscribing. Today, we'll be talking about how to make your residency rank list. The first thing you should do is sit down and make a list of all the things that are really important to you in your residency training. So firstly, I considered location. This is important to many people, and it was really important to me as well. I was born and raised in California, and I knew that I wanted to stay in California. My family's here, the weather is amazing, there's lots of hiking opportunities, lots of beaches nearby, the food is great. So for me, my top 3 programs were all in California. Number 2, I knew I wanted to train at a county program. This is just the patient population that I enjoy working with, immigrants, underserved populations. The staff in most county programs that I had worked in the past were also very similarly mission driven, and it just was the right environment for me. Another thing I considered while ranking amongst the different county programs that I interviewed at was whether or not they had enough resources to provide all of the services that our patients would need. Number 3, and this is a big one, resident culture. I knew I wanted to end up at a program where the residents were as happy as one could be during training. I wanted to be at a place where the residents supported each other, the attendings supported your learning and really prioritized your education, and they didn't make you feel dumb for asking questions or making mistakes, and just really wanted to foster your learning and development. These are folks that you'll be spending more time with than with your family. These are folks who will be lifelong friends, future colleagues. These are people that you'd be going through really tough times with. And so I just wanted to make sure that I ended up at a program where I felt really supported and I felt like a family. Number 4, future goals. So for many of us, internal medicine is not the end stop of our career. Some of us want to consider fellowships such as like Palm Cret, GI, cardiology, palliative care, for example. And lots of these fellowships are competitive and require research, require mentorship. And so I would say if you are interested in fellowship, you should consider looking up the programs on your list and seeing where their graduates had matched. Well, A, what was their match rate? B, how many matched at their top programs? And C, are those programs where they matched programs that you would like to match in? And if they are successful, then that just tells you that, they have those connections, they have the resources to get you where you need to go. Other things that I considered were, for example, I'm interested in social medicine and global health, and our program offered opportunities for me to explore that. Just think about what's important to you, what other interests you have within medicine, and see whether or not these programs have the resources you need to get you where you want to go. Number 5, I knew I wanted to train at a community hospital rather than an academic institution, and that's just because for me research isn't as important, whereas I wanted to be a really strong clinician when I graduated. And at our program, for example, I knew that we trained very strong clinicians who were very skilled in procedures and weren't as consult heavy, for example, whereas at other institutions, the internal medicine team, the primary team, may consult every service and not really be able to make those decisions for themselves. And they would have, for example, procedure teams who would do the paracenteses, the lumbar punctures, and not necessarily train you to feel very comfortable doing them yourselves. And I just thought these were important skills to have when I graduated and started looking for a job. Okay, so now you have a list of all the factors that are important to you. Now you should rank the factors in order of importance. Now, let's grab a piece of paper and a pen and I'll show you how I use this to make my residency rank list. Okay, so here we have my iPad, and the first thing we're going to do is open up this note-taking app called Good Notes, and we're going to make our table. So go ahead and make as many rows as you need to list all the programs that are on your list. And then for the columns, take the number of different categories or factors you want to consider, add that number by 1, and that's the number of vertical lines you'll need. Here on the left hand side, we're going to label this column program, and you can put the name of the program here. I'm just going to label them A, B, C, D, and E. Then next we'll put in the categories or the factors that are really important to you. I would list them in order of importance from left to right. So here I have location as my most important. Next, whether it's a county versus a private hospital. Then the residency culture. Then fellowship and future goals. Then whether it's a community or an academic program. Now for me, I have 5 different categories that I want to weight in order of importance. Since I have 5 categories, the most important category to me will be weighted 5. Next would be weighted 4. Residency culture would be weighted 3, so on and so forth. I'll show you why this is helpful later on. So then within each box, I'm going to rank that program on a scale of 1 to 10 in that category. So for example, program A, I thought was 8 out of 10 in location. So here I'm going to put 8. And because location had a weight of 5, I'm going to multiply 8 by 5. That will give you 40. And I'll write that right here in this bottom right corner. Next, this was a 10 out of 10 in terms of being a county hospital with great resources. So 10 times 4 gives you 40. In terms of residency culture, it was an 8 out of 10. Since residency culture was weighted 3, 8 times 3 is 24. In terms of fellowship, opportunities, and future goals, this was a 7 out of 10. Since that's weighted 2, 7 times 2 gives you 14. Finally, 9 out of 10 in terms of being a community hospital. That's what I want. 9 times 1 will be a 9. So now I'll go back and add up all of these numbers in the bottom right corner for program A, and that total comes out to 127, and that would be the total for this program. Because I have 5 different categories, my total came out to 150. Let's do the same for program B. 10 out of 10 in location, 10 times 5 is 50. In terms of being a county hospital, it was a 10 out of 10 as well. 10 times 4 is 40. Residency culture here, 8 out of 10. 8 times 3, 24. In terms of fellowship and opportunities and future goals, it was not so great. 6 out of 10. 6 times 2 is 12. 10 out of 10 for being community hospital. That total comes out to 136 for program B. For program C, let's do the same thing. 3 out of 10 in terms of location, that's 15. 7 out of 10 in terms of being a county hospital with limited resources, 7 times 4 is 28. 9 out of 10 in terms of residency culture, that totals 27. 6 out of 10 for fellowship, 6 times 2 is 12. 5 out of 10 for being a community hospital, that totals 87. So once you go and do this for all of your programs, you should have a total for each program. Once you filled out this entire table, you should have your rank list. The program with the highest total would be number 1, here, program B. The program with the second highest number would be your second choice, and so on and so forth. But at the end of this, you have your rank list done. So now you have your list. The last thing I want to leave you with is looking at your list. Even though we went through this system, and theoretically this system should work out well because you have thought about what's most important to you and placed more weight on those factors that were more important than others. But if at the end you look at your list and something just doesn't sit right, I would say make those rearrangements. You should definitely trust your gut because residency training is hard, and you should end up at a place where you feel most comfortable, that you're going to feel supported and receive the training that you want to get. I do believe we all end up where we need to be, and I wish you all the best of luck. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible, and maybe possibly even make a future video based off your questions and interests. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.